We're here today with this litter of Australian Labradoodle puppies to do their 2-week update. These puppies are all going to be large, mini, small, medium-sized Australian Labradoodles, and they are from our red velvet litter. Hi, I'm Claire from Maternal Labradoodles, and today we're going to give you an update on each of the puppies, a little bit of information on the litter as a whole, and also give you an update on Laynee. So at the 2-week mark, usually we are able to tell you about a major milestone for the puppies, and that's that their eyes have opened. And indeed, every one of these puppies has their eyes open. Labradoodle puppies are just like all other puppies. Their eyes generally tend to open at around the 14-day mark. But these little Labradoodles were all way ahead of the bell curve. Their eyes were all open fully when they were 10 days old. So that was a pretty exciting and early change for us with this litter of Labradoodles. So I think maybe it's because Laynee just has 4 puppies, and so she's able to devote so much attention to them, and they are actually quite far ahead in their weight gain as well, because there's only 4. So there's not much competition. So I may be totally wrong about that, but that's my guess. We've had to change the puppies' collars a number of times already, loosening them off as they have gained a tremendous amount of weight. And we'll do their weights when we do each one of their updates as well. I'm just letting them have a little bit of a minute at Laynee's milk bar right now. You can see they're all nursing away there. We just moved Laynee in here, as she had been outside having a little bit of fun chasing the ball and doing a little bit of running around. Well, she's going to hide them all for you now so you can't see them. Laynee, let everybody see your babies. She's just cleaning up one of the ones over there. I think it's yellow collar that she's worried about over there. So Laynee was outside, and she was outside with all of her other dogs, and she was actually outside with one of her daughters from her previous litter. So Isla's mom is away in Mexico, and Taylor is looking after Isla, but Taylor had an engagement last night, so Isla came and spent some time with us. So it was pretty fun. Laynee was not too excited to see her initially, gave her a little bit of a warning not to get near the other puppies, but after that was over and done with, and she and Isla had a great reunion again together. So that was great. And Laynee's doing really well. She's eating so nicely, and Laynee's on a little bit of an extra special diet. Laynee sometimes has a little bit of a sensitive tummy, so not only is she eating all of her raw food, but we also are mixing in some special vegetable blend, which is a green leafy vegetable blend, and we're also giving her fermented vegetables and a little bit of golden paste. Now, golden paste is a turmeric blend, and it's excellent for calming the tummy and also reducing any inflammation. And of course, after she's had babies, sometimes the uterus is still a little bit inflamed, so that helps with that. And the fermented vegetables are also designed to help the tummy digest food more easily. So it's a lot of work for her when she has her puppies, and so we want to make it easier for her and make sure she gets all the nutrition that she can. So she's got a really good appetite. She's eating about 4.5 pounds of raw food a day. She eats kangaroo, rabbit, buffalo, and lamb. And she has salmon from time to time. And then she has the additives that I mentioned there, the supplements. And she also has hemp seed oil. And then she has a multivitamin as well, and some calcium. So she has a pretty fancy little diet going on there. It sounds more fancy than it is, but it does keep her in great shape, keeps her happy. Her teeth are great, and she has lots of milk for the puppies. So now let's get to each of the puppies. I hope they'll let me remove them from the milk bar without too much of an argument. And we'll start with the firstborn puppy in the litter, which is our only girl and our only black puppy, and that is Yellow Collar Girl. It's okay, Laynee? Thanks. Now the puppies, as I said, all have their eyes open, and you will be able to see their eyes. Laynee's just going to come over. She's not exactly too thrilled apparently that I've got her, but that's okay. It's okay, Laynee, thank you. And you can see little Yellow Collar's beautiful eyes. So this is our gorgeous ebony girl with her little bit of white on her chest here and on her goatee. And she is weighing in now at 915 grams. So she is quickly closing in on that 1 kilogram mark. Now she still can't hear. None of them have their ears open yet, but she can see. And what she can see is not, she can't really identify anything too much. Most everything is just blurry and blobby so far, but she is at least able to recognize some shapes, and they definitely can recognize when it's Laynee coming into the nest. So that's yellow collar girl. There we go, baby girl. Next on the list is green collar boy, which is right here. Hi, buddy. Green collar. Now we have gone back and forth saying these puppies are red, red caramel, red, and we've explained the difference is the color of what we call their leathers. And their leathers are their nose, their lips, their pads, and their eyelids rather, sorry. And this boy, green collar boy, is a red. You can see that his nose is filling in now, and it is going to be black, not brown. It takes a little while to be able to tell of which color it's going to be when they're filling in from pink. And there you can see Mr. Green Collar's beautiful eyes as well. This guy is just a doll. He's a real sweet, easygoing puppy. He has that gorgeous Labradoodle blocky head. You can see that his head is very square. His whole face is nice. He has a short little snout, and he's got a nice square blocky head. And that's exactly what the Labradoodle breed standard asks for. Hey, buddy? And then he has that tiny little smidge of white in the middle of his head there. And that's all the white that this guy has, other than on the bottoms of his feet. And Mr. Green Collar has broken the kilogram mark. He is now 1.04 kilograms, which is a great weight for a 2-week-old puppy. Yes, it is. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, look, Mom's coming back. Laynee's coming back, just checking to see how everybody's doing. So this is pretty typical behavior at 2 weeks. She's feeling that she can be independent a bit and leave the puppies alone, but she's also, of course, still very devoted to them and makes sure that if any of them are squeaking, that she goes and attends to them right away. Now the next little guy we're going to look at here is light blue collar. Now light blue collar has also got an interesting color story. So at first we thought he was a phantom, and as it turns out, he is a sable. Now, the phantom markings usually in sables show up first, and then the sable shows up a little bit later. So if you look on his body, you can see his black is just a stripe down his back now. And you can see all this gorgeous coppery red brown color coming through. So he is just the most handsome fellow with the most unique coloring. I am a huge fan of sable. You never know exactly how the puppy's going to turn out. So we're just going to have to wait and watch and see how this little handsome fellow develops. Hello, baby. And you can see that Mr. Light Blue Collar also has his eyes open as he's showing you. And they're really easy to see in his black body because he has all of that beautiful sable marking around his eyes. So you're going to see what we call clearing out of the black, which means the black reducing in areas around the face most predominantly, and then on the sides of the body. And then the black stripe is the last one to go. His face will lighten up considerably over time, and he may retain just a little bit of the black color on his snout, or he may lose it entirely. Now it looks like he's got a little bit of Laynee's food stuck to the top of his head here, so she must have had some food in her mouth when she was washing him off. Hey, sweetheart. And Mr. Light Blue is also broken the 1 kilogram barrier, and he is currently the largest puppy in the litter, weighing in at 1.05 kilograms. So yay, way to go, Mr. Light Blue. So we'll put him back, and our last puppy in the litter is Mr. Black Collar. Mr. Black Collar is similar to Mr. Green Collar in that we weren't sure if he was going to be a red caramel or a red, and he is also red. You can see his nose is coming in black, his pads are black, and his lips are black, and his eyes are open too. Now this little red fellow is different from his brother in that he is an abstract. And by an abstract we mean he has white markings. So you can see he has all this pretty white on his lips here, up his nose, his head, and all of his little toes are all dipped in white too. Oh, this is so pretty. Are you a pretty boy? Yeah. Oh, and he likes to give kisses. And Mr. Black Collar, he is 994 grams. Just barely missed the 1 kilogram mark. This guy is a real sweet guy. He's very affectionate. He is the one who usually comes and tends to snuggle up with me whenever I'm sitting in the box with the puppies. He also likes to talk and tell Laynee that he really would appreciate if she come back and give them a bit more lunch. I didn't really get my full fill yet. No, I didn't get my full fill. So that's all the puppies for the week. That I can imagine that it must have been a pretty major week for them, because all of a sudden being able to see is really quite something. And as you see there, Mr. Black Collar was just walking around. So the puppies are all up on all fours now, and they are able to walk and move around. So they're getting to be quite a bit more mobile. They are able to get to Laynee much more readily. They still depend totally on their sense of smell, really to find her. They can see her to some extent, as I mentioned, but she's just a blob, and it really hasn't translated through to their brains yet that blob equals mom equals food. So they still rely on their sense of smell to find mom and find their nourishment and find warmth. But they are moving around, and now we see them quite often on their own more. So they aren't always all sleeping, all four of them together. That is still what they tend to do most often, but it's not unusual now to see one in one corner and one in another corner of the nest. The nest is quite small, so they can't get around too far, but it's great. They're starting to get some exercise and build up some muscle tone in their legs, and just starting to become more and more regular puppies. So next week, I expect that probably they'll meet their next milestone, which will be hearing, and their ears were open. Oh, now Laynee's come back and she's decided that it's okay. She's going to come and feed them all. And you can see Mr. Black Collar here. He's looking the wrong way, so you can tell his vision is not that great, because obviously Mom is here and he hasn't been able to locate her. So we'll give him a little bit of a head start here and say, here she is over here. There we go. And Laynee will give him a good cleanup, because after all, he was out of the nest, and she's got to make sure that everything's all right there. So that's our update for this week. We're going to direct all of our families on this litter list to episode 2 of our Puppies 1, 2, 3 videos. And that's going to be about choosing a vet and a trainer. And even though it seems like it's very early in the process to start looking for someone, it is a process. There's lots of questions you're going to want to ask, and most likely you're going to want to take a look at a few vets and a few trainers to find the one that suits you and your needs best. So we'll put the link to that video in the comments below here. And we'll also send it out to all of our families. So, and if you're getting a puppy, whether it's a Labradoodle puppy or a different puppy, you may also want to watch our Puppies 1, 2, 3 series and learn about getting ready to bring your new puppy home. So we hope you enjoyed this video of these little 2-week-old Labradoodle puppies from Van Isle Doodles, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. And thanks for watching.